Morning. How we doing?
Mark, like you all, this Memphis team drives at an extremely high rate. What are some keys for you all defensively, just in terms of limiting those deep paint attacks?
Yeah, their stuff is hard to deal with, but not complicated. They line up and tee up drives, and they've got dynamic drivers, Morant, Jackson. And then, Bane, because the shooting gravity is a really good driver, and all their role players, Pippen's a great driver. So you got to line up, put your chest on them, individual defense, help, all the fundamentals that matter every night, but certainly enhanced in this particular matchup.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. Is there anything specific that feels different to you game one last year, first round series, to today?
The opponent, is different. But no, not really. I mean, the week is weird. It's a long layoff after, being in the rhythm of like 4 games every week for months, kind of like an all-star break. But a lot of practice time. That's, again, like 3 straight days of practice of that intensity. You don't have that other than training camp. So we went 6 months between like stretches of practice like that. So I thought we handled it well last year in terms of preparation. We played well in the first round last year. And we tried to make some adaptations this year, just learned a couple lessons. But for the most part, it feels about the same.
Chris Dodson, Clutch Points. Just generally, can you talk about the pressures of playing maybe like a perfect game in the playoffs versus just playing your A game?
Yeah, I think basketball is not only not a perfect game, it's an imperfect game. And I think just watching some of the games yesterday, you notice that. People still turn the ball over, people still miss shots, people still miss dunks, miss assignments, and that's how the game is no matter what the stage is. Obviously, it feels enhanced when you're in the playoffs, but I think a key is just staying present, stacking possessions. But yeah, I agree with you. Great is the enemy of good sometimes in these situations, and so we just got to go out there and play our game, be who we are, understand it's not going to be a perfect game. We're not going to play perfect, neither will our opponent, and our goal is just to be the better team today.
Yeah, Mark, do you have a rotational script based on the opponent? And if so, or if not, either one, how much do you deviate based on the way the game starts going?
Yeah, we'll go into, there's generally a rotational script, you could call it, and then, I would say pivot points, that we prepare for, where it's like, okay, one thing we could do is this, or if they did that, we got to be ready to do this. And so I wouldn't say it's scripted. I also wouldn't say it's like random. We go in with an idea of what we would like to do, but we also go in with a couple like detours that we could take depending on how the game's going, depending on what the game calls for. And you kind of learn those things throughout the course of the season with the team. And the team learns them too, because your team needs to be able to go with you if you're going to pivot like that. And this group's done a great job of that. So we're ready for a lot of different things, but generally we're pretty prepared in terms of what we're going to do today.
Chris Harrington, Daily Memphian. All 4 previous meetings between the two teams was before the Grizzlies coaching change. In your film watch, what have you seen that it's different about the Grizzlies now than earlier in the season in terms of their approach?
Yeah, it's more the same than different. The change happened really late in the year, and so I think it's not a lot of time, not a lot of practice time to be able to make huge changes. Not a lot of breaths between games. They were, grinding down the stretch to avoid the play-in and then to get out of the play-in. So I don't think they were like making wholesale changes. I think they were just taking the day in front of them. At least that's what it seemed like. But I said yesterday, I think the biggest changes we've seen are like allocation. It's not like what they're doing. It's like how much they're doing certain things, how much they're playing certain guys, more so than like huge changes. But the biggest consistency is the personnel. I mean, it's like the players are the same. They have the same tendencies. They have the same strengths. They have the same games. They present the same dilemmas. So there's some changes on the margins, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly different.
Probably feels like as clean of an injury report as you've had all year, considering that you've dealt with different lineups at different points. Like, what is this like for you to kind of have this canvas now where you're dealing with so many of your pieces?
Yeah, it's great. We want to be healthy, just like every team. I think that's one of the benefits of getting the week, especially, so any bumps and bruises, any lingering things, which every player has, you're able to kind of address with the time off. So the time off can have its challenges. There's definitely trade-offs, but one of the huge benefits is rest, recovery, health, and we're well positioned from that standpoint coming into today.
Had AJ played these past few months, he would have had a bigger role, but what are you sort of expecting from him in round one and possibly beyond?
I'm expecting the same thing from him as I expect from everybody, which is to be ready to go in the game and bring your strengths to the table. It's the playoffs. We're going to need everybody at different times. Everybody has unique strengths that they bring to the team. He certainly showed during the regular season that he's got some. So as far as I'm concerned, he's live.
Who else we got? Anybody else? We got in the back.
How do you plan to contain Memphis's inside presence?
I mean, they have a potent inside presence with Jackson's driving. He's a bully when he drives it. He can really get his physicality into the game, get to spots on the floor because of his physical size and the way that he plays mentality-wise. And then Edey is certainly a problem down there because of how big he is, especially on the glass on both ends of the floor. He really kind of patrols the backboard. So, front court players we respect, and then they, as mentioned, they drive the heck out of the ball. So even a guy like Morant, who's not, physically huge, he's somebody you have to deal with around the basket because of his athleticism, his speed. So again, there's a reason they score the way they do. There's a reason they won the games they won, and they're a challenging opponent that we're going to need to bring our best game against.
Anybody else this morning? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.